Okay, so here's my piece of paper that I've made. It's 8 inches long and 11 inches wide. And what I've done is I've cut out these little, or I've marked out, I mean, these little 1-inch squares.
Yeah.
So what we would do to make this box is we would cut out these 1-inch squares and then fold it up.
Yeah.
Okay. So here's my question. For the box, do you see the box I'm going to fold up? We've got a little bit of 3D geometry visualizing to do here.
Yeah.
Okay. Let's call this the length. How long is...
It's a box without a top.
Yeah, it's a box without a top. You're absolutely right. So when I cut out these 1-inch squares and fold it up and find the volume, we have to do length times width times height.
Yeah.
Okay. How long is the length here? I'll call this part the...
It would be 6. Yeah, because you cut off 2 1-inch pieces.
Okay, so I have 6 times how long is the width?
The width you cut off. Yeah, because it's 11 minus 2.
Okay,
Times
9. And what's the height? Let your brother answer. What's the height? Okay, why is it 1?
Because it's the 1-inch strip right there.
So what is, and let your brother answer this please, what is the area?
It's 54.
Okay, so when we cut out a 1-inch strip, we got a 54 for the volume.
Yep.
Okay. Now I asked you to make one where we cut out 2 inches, and you did a great job for that. Okay, so now let's see. So what's my length here?
These
are 2-inch strips that we cut out.
Now it's 4.
Okay, how'd you figure that out?
Because there's 2 2-inch strips, and now it's 4, and you started with 8.
Okay, so it's 4 times you can tell me what's the width here?
It would be 11 minus 4, which is 7.
Okay, and what's the height?
2.
Okay, so what's the volume here?
It's 4 times 14.
Which is... It's 20, it's 56.
Okay, it's 56.
Yeah, you can do 8 times 7 too.
Yeah, 8 times 7 or 28 times 2 or lots of different ways to do it. 56.
So it's a little bit larger.
A little bit larger.
Now we have the box with the smallest.
Yeah, and I asked you to make one with 3-inch squares cut out that we're going to fold up. What's the length here?
It's 2. Because...
Yeah.
Okay, so it's 2. It's 8 minus 3 minus 3, so 2 times what's the width?
5.
5. And what's the height?
3.
And what's that volume?
It's
30.
because it's 2 times 5 times 3, which is 30.
30. Okay.
Then
Oh, that's much smaller.
54, 56, 30. I thought that one would probably have 58. But why isn't that?
Yeah, that's interesting. That pattern didn't continue. That's a good observation, though. Now, I want to fill in 2 extra little bits here before we go on to the next step. What would happen if I cut out 4-inch squares from the corners?
Well,
what would happen?
You wouldn't have anything here.
Why not?
Because
this is 8.
So, but then you would have this whole strip being that.
Okay, so what would the length of my box be? What would this, if I cut out 4-inch squares, how long would this part be?
That would be, it wouldn't be any. There would be 0.
Any. So what would the volume be?
It would be...
Big fat 0.
Or how about just a regular 0? Okay.
0.
0. And what if I cut out my squares that had length 0? What if I cut them out, they were so small that my squares on the edge were 0?
And that would be... you wouldn't have any height, so that would be 0 also.
So we have an interesting pattern for the volume. It goes 0,
54,
54, 56, 30, and then back down to 0.
I wonder what happens if we do 5.
Then
it would go back on itself. It would pass through each other.
Yeah, that would be kind of strange, wouldn't it? But maybe we could think about that. Maybe we'll think about that another time.
Yep.
But here's what I want to ask you now, because this is one really interesting part of this. What if I cut out something and, and instead of just being an integer that we were choosing, what if it was x?
X.
Okay, what if my cutouts were x? What would my length be here? What would my width be? And what would my height be?
Well, that would be, the length would be, it's going to be 8 minus 2x. 8 minus 2x.
Okay.
And then the width would be 11
8
minus 2x.
minus 2x. 11 minus 2x.
And then the height's x.
The height would be x. Okay, very good. So that's my formula. And we're trying to find the number that gives the maximum value of this. Okay, it's probably not 0.
It seems like it's 2.
Probably not 1. Maybe it's 2. Probably not 3 or 4, right?
Yeah.
But we don't know. There's lots of numbers in between 1 and 2, right?
Yeah.
And there's lots of
There's
numbers in between
infinite.
2 and 3.
There's infinite.
Where would you, if you were going to guess where the maximum for this is, where would you guess it would be?
Probably around 2.
Probably around 2. Do you think it's bigger than 2 or less than 2?
Maybe a tiny bit bigger than 2.
Okay, what do you think?
I think, yeah, maybe like 2.2 or something.
2.2, okay. All right. Well, this is really good. You want to go on Mathematica and see what we can find?
Sure.
Alright.
All right, here we go.